Hi, I hope you're having a great day and I hope you're staying safe at home. Today I want to talk about something that most of us have in our kitchens. I'm talking about ginger. Ginger grows across the world in many places and it doesn't grow in some places, but it's easily available because ginger can be used fresh. It can be used dried, it can be used in the form of a powder, it can be used in ginger oil. Ginger is even found in cosmetics, in a lot of organic and chemical-free cosmetics. Why? Because it is highly anti-inflammatory in nature. The reason I talk about ginger today is because a lot of us miss out on these powerful gifts from nature. While we keep adding more complication to our life and chasing more complication, we should never forget simplicity. Ginger for the longest time has been used in Chinese medicine, in Ayurveda, in Persian medicine. It's even used in allopathic drugs. Ginger oil is used in a lot of medications and nutraceuticals that are used for gut health. So again, it's used everywhere. We have it in our kitchen, in our own pharmacies at home. So why is ginger so good for us? There's one property that is being studied today for cancers, for brain tumors, for Alzheimer's, dementias, Parkinson's, anything that is caused by inflammation, which is almost every possible disease out there. It contains something called gingerol. Gingerol is a compound that is highly anti-inflammatory, that it's being actually used today in the treatment of colorectal cancers to reduce inflammation in the gut. Now let's start off with digestion. There's a reason why Japanese have a little bit of that pink ginger. If you've ever gone to a Japanese restaurant or you have sushi, you get that little pink ginger, slivers of pink ginger that you're supposed to have before your meal, because when you have ginger before your meal, it stimulates the production of digestive enzymes. It also helps you to produce more stomach acid. A lot of people suffer from low stomach acid. They think they have excess acid, and so they take antacids. Now you have low stomach acid. If you have low stomach acid, you can't break down protein the right way. You cannot break down or kill bacteria and pathogens that get into our system. If you have low stomach acid, you allow certain bacteria like the H. pylori bacteria, which is actually very dangerous, to breed inside of your system. So we need stomach acid. Having a little bit of ginger before your meal will help you stimulate the right amount of stomach acid. Nausea. For the longest time, people who scale mountains, mountain climbers, all of them carry ginger with them. They cut a piece of ginger and they sniff it if they get nauseous. So we know that from days and decades ago that ginger is used for nausea. So people who are going through motion sickness, car sickness, ginger can help. Even for pregnancy, morning sickness, ginger is powerful. Just cutting a small piece of ginger, mashing it, boiling it in water, adding a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of ajwain can help you with morning sickness. Now be very careful, because if you're close to labor or you're reaching the third trimester, when you're close to delivery, ginger isn't a good thing for you. And if you have a problem with excessive vaginal bleeding, or if you have clotting, blood clotting problems, or you've gone through many miscarriages, ginger isn't your friend. You want to take professional advice before you add too much of ginger to your diet. So that's extremely important. When it comes to common colds and coughs, ginger plays a huge role in boosting your immunity because number one, it's antibacterial, it's also antiviral. So in the olden days, our ancestors would take a 1-inch piece of ginger, they would mash it on stone, and then they would boil it in water, and they would give you that water to drink. Of course, you can add turmeric to it, you can add ajwain, jeera, it's up to you. But ginger water is good for reducing inflammation in the lungs. It also helps you with common cold and common flu. One of the most powerful antioxidants, which is why it's being studied today in cancer. Antioxidants reduce and neutralize the amount of free radicals that create inflammation. When you have excessive inflammation that cannot be controlled, that's when you have all of your problems. We knew this way before, but COVID brought it out again. Uncontrolled inflammation, inflammatory damage to the lungs, cytokine storms, all of that is uncontrolled inflammation. Your immunity and the switch that turns off inflammation don't communicate anymore with each other, and that's why inflammation now starts to destroy you rather than protect you. Ginger is highly anti-inflammatory, which is why it's used even in the treatment of arthritis. So pains and arthritis can reduce when you start to use more ginger in your diet. It also helps you with indigestion, like we spoke. Menstrual pains. If you go through a lot of menstrual pains during your period cycle, it's a very common remedy where you're given a little bit of ginger boiled in water, or you can grate ginger and add it to your food. You can even cook the ginger and have it, but increase the amount of ginger. Now, ginger creates heat in your body, irritation to the throat. Obviously, it doesn't suit you. So if it doesn't suit you, don't do it. It's as simple as that. If something doesn't suit you, don't do it. There are several other spices and roots that also have anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. So you don't have to be stuck onto something that doesn't suit you and feel negative about the fact that you cannot have it. Nature's given you several gifts, and if someone can't have turmeric, they can find the health benefits of turmeric in something else. And that's why we call it diversity of the gut and diversity of foods that feed it. Okay, blood sugar levels. In fact, diabetic patients are usually given warnings that if you're on medication, be careful of your consumption of ginger. Why? Because ginger can drastically lower your blood sugar levels, which actually makes it a good thing for diabetics. Ending your meal with or having ginger with your meal can actually bring down a reduction in your blood sugar levels, of course, along with your lifestyle changes. That's why doctors say that if you're on medication, okay, and you have ginger, you don't want your levels going so low that you move into hypo. So again, adding these little things to your diet can even control your blood sugar levels. And brain health, anti-inflammatory in nature, being studied with Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, scientifically documented. Now, ginger is something that can find its place in your masalas, in your curries, in your stir fries. Whatever food you cook, you have the ability to put ginger in it. If you overdo it in ginger, your stomach will start to burn. More ginger doesn't mean more health benefits. You can start off with half an inch piece of ginger, mash it, boil it in water, have a tea. How do I feel? Good. Maybe that 1 inch piece of ginger, you can grate it over your salad, or you can add it to your stir fries. You can add it to your lentil preparations. There are so many ways. We'll post a couple of recipes of how you can add ginger in the thread of this video. Ginger tea is fabulous for your health. If you don't like caffeine, one of our favorite concoctions are you take a 1 inch piece of ginger, grate it, mash it, boil it in water. Add a little bit of cinnamon, just a dash of cinnamon, a little bit of jeera, and a little bit of ajwain. This relaxes the stomach, completely relaxes the stomach. We use a lot of ginger for our chemotherapy patients as well because they go through a lot of nausea. So we either give them fresh ginger to sniff or just a very, very lightly prepared ginger tea that they can have post-chemo or pre-chemo. Some of them even fill a flask with ginger water, a little bit of turmeric, and they sip on it during their sessions. And the results are fabulous to reduce nausea. This is the beauty of nature. This is the power of lifestyle changes. It exists all around us. It's not expensive. Now you be creative and come up with ways of how you can add ginger to your diet to reap the health benefits. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep. And remember, you care is all about you. Yes, I just saw a question, is ginger powder good? Absolutely. I have bottles of ginger powder as well if I don't want to use fresh ginger. Like my favorite drink, I take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, I add it to lukewarm water, I add a little bit of ginger powder, a little bit of cinnamon powder, and sometimes I add maybe a dash of psyllium husk to it. That's my gut drink. It works for me. I don't know if it's going to work for you, but it works for me. It's tasty, it makes me feel good, and I get as much of nutrition as I can in that 1 mug of my apple cider concoction. You don't like apple cider, just boil ginger in water, or you can take boiling water and add ginger powder to it as well. Let it steep for about 7 to 10 minutes, and you can still get the benefits of ginger. Have a great day, everyone.